Probably the closest we're going to get to a white Christmas this year. You can see the snow and the roads are clear. That's good. I figured they would be. They salt them and put stuff on them that tries to get the ice off. At least they did on this lane. Of course, it's had more traffic on it, so it's away we go, heading north. It's just probably going to get thicker as we get up there. Hopefully their road crews are better than they are down here in the sticks. I'm gonna pull into the temp stop here, fill up with gas, and then I'm going to get me a big cup of coffee for the road. So here we go. What's the price of gas today? Let me tell you. I have no clue. It's been around $2 a gallon. We have the lowest gas. Actually, the other day it was $1.97. Missouri has some of the lowest gas prices. I know you're all going, because I know in other places they sell it like $5 a liter and stuff. You know, Mexico and overseas. I know. We're spoiled about gas. That's a whole nother vlog. Have I mentioned I hate the cold? I didn't realize it, but you have to pop my little gas thing open with a lever and it was frozen shut. So what did I do? I stick my card in there. I think, oh, I'll pry it loose, right? So now, and so I broke off the corner of my debit card and broke my card. And then the machine froze shut and it wouldn't give me gas. It's not that I'm that desperate for it. I just wanted to top off. Oh, to heck with it. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Maybe go run by the bank, see if I can get some cash. Getting further up north, and they've definitely had more ice up here. We can see that the sides of the ground are whiter, and the trees are looking like glass. Very pretty. Terminals! To the terminals! Yay! Oh, bright light! Bright light! So yep, we're coming up into the KCI airport and the roads are terrible! Way more icy up here, isn't it?
If they're still okay?
We're here.
We're already here, right?
We're already here, yeah. And we're going to get through this stoplight, and then we will look for, what airline we're looking for?
Frontier.
Frontier. And that guy right there didn't even wait, just came right on over, figured he had a big red truck, I'd stop for him, and he was right. Hello, Grandma DC back here. Okay. Well, the big adventure to the airport. I showed you some of the clips. I didn't show you outside of breaking my debit card. I also had to turn around and go back home because I forgot something, and then after I picked up my client I had to turn around and go back because we forgot something of his. Luckily, both times before I made it out of town too far. So I'm like, oh, great start to a trip. 3-hour trip. So we're going along, and I get to the airport, and as you could see, the sun was like in my face. And what you couldn't see was I had a grown man next to me going, because I couldn't find a parking spot. And I saw Frontier Airlines, it was Terminal B, and it said this way to Terminal C, so I didn't get into the traffic, and I didn't get over there, and I thought I turned into Terminal B, get inside, he has to go to the bathroom, I take that opportunity to run it right up to the kiosk that's right there, and I go, where's Frontier Airline? And she says, it's in Terminal B, and I'm like, yes. And she looks at me like, I said, is this not Terminal B? And she goes, no, this is Terminal C. There is no way I'm getting this angsty, upset human being back out into the cold, the ice, across into a parking lot where I had trouble finding a parking place, into my car, pay to get my car out, drive my car over to Terminal B. In my mind, I must have looked like a four-eyed frog. I was like, you know, deer in the headlight. And she goes, there's terminal buses that go by. The blue bus is for parking, the red bus is for terminals. It will take you to Terminal B. So I lied to my client. And I said, they moved Frontier Airline. We got to get on a bus to go to Terminal B. And so here I am. He won't carry nothing at all. So here I am. I've got a 50-pound suitcase, which luckily was rolling very nicely and easily. Really good suitcase. And I'm carrying this suitcase, and I'm going out, and I have all my paperwork and everything. And finally, after what seemed like forever, and with a lot of complaining beside me about the cold, I am only wearing my light sweater, shoes with no socks, because, you know, I knew I had to strip down to get in. And I just wanted to go as light as possible. I had all my IDs stuck in my ID carrier, you know, no purse, nothing, just getting in as light as possible and getting out. And so we get on, the bus finally comes, and he hops on into the warmth because he's cold, and he's wearing a full coat, has hat and gloves, refuses to wear them, throws them on the ground, on the floor of the bus where it's wet. Yeah, that makes sense, and that's typical. And I'm like, pick up your hat, pick up your gloves. He didn't want to. Finally did. And I'm like, okay. So I made him put them in his pocket since he would not wear them. I'm like, put those in your pocket now, you know, please. And so we get over to the right terminal, and I find Frontier, and you know, we get checked in, but then there's a problem with his ID, which we had just gotten his new ID, but it's on paper, and the picture was on paper, not on plastic, so therefore they had an issue with it. They wanted his old expired one, which, believe it or not, I had. And so I'm giving them all this ID for him, and they're like, well, we're going to have to physically frisk him. So now I'm explaining to my client that he is going to need to be touched. And I can't tell them anything. I can't tell you anything. And I'm like, oh, shit. So we get through that. All of that. And we get inside. Now, I have now told them that he is challenged and that I need him to have assistance onto the plane. By the time we get in, he gets his soda. $4 for a little soda. Ridiculous. And we get set down. I'm thinking 40 minutes till the plane gets here. Perfect timing. Perfect. And then the plane's delayed. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally. No reason given. No information. I ran into the nicest young man. He was about 6'7", said he was a basketball player, some sort of a pro player. I don't know. I don't watch sports. If he had, I didn't ask his name because I was afraid he'd tell me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or something. I would have recognized that. So he had his head on my shoulder for a while and called me Mom. I'm like, come on, baby, it's okay, you know. Because I'm sitting there putting up with somebody who is not happy. Not happy. We've had a delay into the world. I'm like, everyone else is waiting. Also, no one else is happy, and we have no information as to why. 3 hours later, nearly, this girl comes out and says that the plane will be there in 50 minutes. So I take that opportunity, finally seeing a human being that works there, and I think it's the same one I told him we checked in. And I said, hey, you know, I have this client who needs assistance just finding his seat, and that's all. And so she's like, you are zone 4. You are crickety Jiminy flibberjacks. What? Zone 4 means. So then okay, you know, you'll be over there. She points in a vague general direction. So when the plane did arrive and people were disembarking, we go over to get in line. And all of a sudden, after 3 hours of reeling it in, reeling it in, reeling it in, people come off of airplanes in flushes. I don't know if you ever noticed that. It's like the first flush, second flush. Well, when the third flush of people were disembarking, behaviors begin. Yelling, cussing, stomping, swinging arms. And I have to be super firm, which I don't usually have to do, and said this was unacceptable. This is unacceptable behavior. Everyone here has had to wait. No one here is happy, especially those poor people with babies. Now, if anybody should have been swinging their arms, stomping and yelling and screaming, it should have been those poor people with the babies. Oh my God. So anyway, finally she comes out and she says, we're going to load in zones. Anybody in a uniform or who works for the airline, come on. And I thought, okay, well, that's not us. And then she never said another word. Some lady behind me said, what did she say? I couldn't understand her. She had an accent. And I'm like, I have no idea what she said other than people in uniforms. So we kind of waited in line, and finally they started boarding, and I got up there and handed her the ticket, and I said, now he needs assistance getting it. She goes, well, he needs to go sit down in a chair over there behind the line. I can't cross over there. I'm not riding this airplane. So I have to now direct my client over to sit over there. He's agreeable to this. Then they bring a wheelchair for him. He's lazy as mud. He says, he'll get in the wheelchair. Sure. And I'm yelling across the room, he does not need a wheelchair. He can walk. Finally, I just said, you know what? Bye-bye. Tell your family hi. I'm leaving. Then I have to go back out in the cold with just my light sweater. Let's make a long story short. I finally got back to Terminal B, a frozen little popsicle, and I had to keep going in and out of the terminal. I lied to the bus driver because the first blue bus with the parking lot bus roared right past the stop and never even stopped. The woman driving it was just like, she was madder than hell. She didn't want to stop at no bus stop. You could tell that one. And so the red bus came around, which I was not supposed to ride, but I just got on and didn't say anything to him. I think he knew. He took me back to Terminal B, where I got out, and like I said, I was walking in and out of the terminal trying to get warm, because I didn't have on any socks. I just had on, kick-off shoes. I had on just my sweater. And so I can't now, old lady problem number 312. I can't remember where my car is. I knew it took me a long time to get parked. I knew I was being growled and bitched at the entire time. But I couldn't remember where. I remember dragging that suitcase quite a ways across the snow and the ice. And hollering and yelling, slow down, stop, no, don't cross the road without me. So anyway, I got back over. I walked halfway around and decided I could cross over, get into the parking. I mean, it was in the upper area somewhere. I knew I was, in the front area. And I start walking. I walked one way at first, didn't find my car. I walked the other way. Yes, I'm pressing the emergency button, hoping my car will start screaming at me. I got right up on my car. It didn't start screaming. You know what? But if I'm in the Walmart parking lot just loading groceries and I happen to bump it, it goes off. What the heck? Didn't go off when I needed it. Hello, Toyota. Outside of that 3/4 of a tank of gas I had, past tense. 38 miles per gallon. Priuses do not get good gas mileage, by the way. I wanted to tell you that. When it's cold, they get shite gas mileage. I got better in my smart car. 38 miles per gallon, and I was driving like 55 and 60 the whole way there. So there you go, Toyota. Your Prius sucks. So I got one for good gas mileage. I should have kept my smart car. My son got it. It got better and was cheaper. Enough for advertising. So I finally, about the time, it was minus 15 wind chill, is what they said. So my mouth was full, and I was just starting to think I was getting kind of lightheaded and dizzy, and I thought I need to go back across the end of the terminal to warm up. I saw the back of my car. I made it to my car. Got in my car, let it run for a little while, warmed up, then I couldn't find my way out of the parking lot. That's like finding your way out of a paper bag. Exit, 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 exit. And then it wanted me to go in underground, and I'm like, surely they can't have the exit underground. What am I going to exit into, a wall? Yeah, believe it or not, that's where the exit was for Terminal C, was underground, and then you came up out of it. It's like, oh my Lord. I did finally find it. It seemed like half an hour of driving in circles before I found the exit, because it was just like exit, exit, exit. It was like exit, turn all the way around and go back. I figured if I was there for a day or so driving in circles, somebody would come and get me. So I finally got out and I got home. I got back to work, actually. I was back to work an hour and a half late. My boss had waited for me, bless her heart. And I did get a nap while I was at work. And of course, my other client got up early and then was upset because they delayed work by 2 hours. Scud! What's up? So it ended up being about a 20-hour work period. Hi, Betty. Woo! It's good there. Was you happy to see Mom after all that time? Yes. Yes. So anyway, I made myself a cup of keto coffee this morning before I was going to do this vlog, and I know it's gotten a little bit long, and I'm really sorry. And I smelled something burning, like on fire, paper or something burning. And after I got my coffee out, I had it in a McDonald's cup here. I continued to smell this burning smell. I have checked everything in the house. All of my heaters are on different circuits. Nothing was hot. There was no smoke. I couldn't see anything. I checked the microwave several times. Finally I called my stepfather and caught him on the way home. Thank you, excuse me. And bless his heart, he came over and he said, I don't smell it. And I said, it keeps coming to me. Every once was a really strong whiff of something burning. I feel like, well, the house is going to burn down, so this might be my last vlog here. After he walked out the door, I'm like, oh, I smell it. It's really strong. McDonald's coffee cups do not reheat well. Apparently, I caught my coffee cup on fire. Oh, yeah. That's the smell. I was carrying it around with me, and every time I lifted this to my face, I would smell. Don't tell him. He'd be mad he had to come out here. I'll tell Mom later. There's my big adventure to the airport. I love you all. Don't forget to like, because that's super important right now for some weird reason. Share or subscribe. More later. Hopefully recipes. Hopefully something more normal in my life. And if that guy was a really famous basketball player, you're darling, honey. I love the way you flirted with the girl. It was like watching mating rituals. Hey, I can entertain myself anywhere. I love you all. Be good to one another. Bye-bye.